Actually, let me see. Well, I thought it was going to show the frame rate, but for some reason it's not, probably because I'm recording. Anyway, so if we're equipping and we try to reload, it won't let us reload until after we're finished equipping. I'll go over that. Also, if we're reloading, we won't be able to fire until we're done equipping, okay? So now there was another bug too, because that was a bug I had overlooked. If the reload or the fire montage got played while equipping, then it would cancel out the equip and it would cause the items to be reholstered. It would also have an effect when traversing. If you tried to reload or fire after a traversal and it was equipping, it would break the auto traversal and it wouldn't re-equip the items. So I fixed that problem. It'll re-equip it. There was also another problem where if you started traversing after the first re-equip, while one of the items was being re-equipped, and it only happened whenever you were playing each of the items montages individually. So you see, I was drawing the gun out. Normally, before I fixed this, what would happen is after you would get back up to the top, he would not be holding the flashlight, only the pistol, but his flashlight layering data would still be applied as secondary layering data. And so what would happen would be your arm would be stiff and down by your side, your left arm would be. So that's fixed now. Everything else has pretty much been flushed out. So you'll notice that we have, I think there's one little problem with, it looks weird whenever you, I may look into that. I'll probably fix that in the next update. But if I do this and then I holster, you'll see how it looks. It looks kind of weird on his left side whenever he's holstering his right pistol. I'll look into that and maybe fix that the next update. But anyway, yeah, so we have this flashlight holster and unholster. We got the rifle on the front now. Because it's easier to manage, but for live retargeted characters, which use sockets, and I can't manipulate sockets, so that's the reason why I took that method. Now, on your live retargeted characters, if you don't get the items placed just right for where they're reaching at, then there'll be a little pop as it attaches. On my character, you won't see that because I've got it perfectly placed where it needs to be. So some people have asked me why I don't use IK. I just feel like IK is overused, and if you can get away with using it, then you should. And in most situations, there's actually better ways to approach things rather than just relying heavily on IK as, like a crutch. So I try not to use IK as a crutch. But anyway, yeah, so I think that really helped the system feel better. So now I'll go ahead and go over the changes with you. You'll find the demo in the server shared files. I'll start putting it down in the description as well. The server file update. This is the changes that I made. So the foot locking was reintroduced. And there was one little thing that was missing from the animation blueprint from after they released that second hot patch post 5.5 release. So 5.5 was released, GASP was released alongside it, and then GASP got 2 additional updates after that. So yeah, and one of them, I think, one of those post 5.5 hot patches, I think, introduced that bug where if you spam the keys, the character starts glitching out. Like I said, it's a database indexing issue. I won't worry about it. I'm sure they'll fix it. Like I said, when you compile your project, it won't do that in your compiled project. So just be aware of that. Don't, because there's this one guy. This was the hill he was going to die on, and and he was convinced it was in my project. So I investigated it, and as you can see, I got to the bottom of it. It is a bug in Unreal, so there's nothing I can do about Unreal Engine bugs. Anyway, so moving on, I'm supposed to be showing you the change I made to the animation blueprint. So if we come in here, the foot placement, this right here, I disconnected these and reconnected this. These have foot locking enabled. You'll see that right here. The lock type is pivot around ball. On these, it's set to unlocked. So there's that. And then there was one other change right in the Anim Interrupt mode. This logic right here. So before it was like this. So what this does is it allows anytime that our gate has changed since the last frame and we're moving and we're on the ground, it will allow us to interrupt on that database change. So if the gate was run last time and now we're a walk, and we're moving, then it'll interrupt it, basically. In some cases, if you don't interrupt your database on whenever you change your database to a new database from your chooser, if you don't interrupt it, then it'll continue playing the animation from that last one, or it'll just start wigging out. So that's what that's for. It can cause stuttering as well. So let's see. Delayed attachment when dual equipping was causing an issue for live retargeted characters using sockets. Right, since their held object offsets were being applied after the first attachment, but right, this caused stuttering. So right, so on the AC held object master, that's where that change, yeah, so that's where that change was done. And sorry, I'm zoning out here a little bit for some reason. I guess I didn't sleep well last night. But basically, there was, over here, I was updating both items as soon as this one or this one was getting called. It was updating this, but it was updating this before the second one finished attaching its item. So for like 1 or 2 frames, this will have already been updated, and the offset on the item in relation to whatever it was attached to would have been applied, and that would have been applied before it was actually attached. And that was what was causing that little hitch whenever it would get attached to the live retargeted characters sockets. It was because I was doing that. So now I'm no longer doing that. They're updating themselves on an individual basis as needed. So that eliminated that problem. I was doing it that way because I was trying to save just a little bit of performance, but I might still go back and refactor it so that I can still do it that way, just to save just a little bit of performance. It's probably not going to be a lot saved there, but anything helps. So I may go back and refactor that so that we can still handle those updates on an individual, on like just once, rather than having it happen every time an item is attached during the dual handles. But for the time being, I'm just going to do it that way because it was easier to do that, and I was trying to get this update out. So over here on the character I made some slight changes to the way I'm handling this right here. I was not unbinding this from the onMontage event. So there would be some cases where it would keep firing this. That's why I unbind it right here after it's done, only when it has finished without being a montage without being interrupted. So I have this Boolean here now, and this prevents the last items in the hand from being cleared if we interrupt an equip with a second traversal. So if we auto holster, traverse, and then we start auto equipping, but we traverse before it's done, this will make sure that those items don't get cleared because they're not attached in the hand yet, to the hand yet. And so after the second traversal ends, it'll make sure that we can still grab those items and re-equip them. So that's what that's about. This right here, basically this right here fires whenever the second one interrupts it, because when the second one plays, the hands will be empty, and so it'll play this, which means this is still false, but we need it to be true. So when the onTraversal end fires, this will still be true, and it'll auto-equip. So that's what that's for. Right, and there's one more thing. So I added a blueprint interface function call for the items or items being held. And this is going to grab the references to the objects being held. And then it's going to check their next montage, which gets reset after the montage is finished. It'll clear that variable on those AC held object masters. And so if this is valid, it means that there is a montage currently playing. And that allows me over here on this AC gun to use this can play montage function, which will call that. And if that returns false, then it means that we can play the montage. Also, I have this added here now too, so that we can't interrupt the reloads. So you can't interrupt a reload with a reload, and you can't interrupt a reload with a fire, so that's how I'm doing that now. And then right here, I'm just grabbing that reference, which is getting set right here whenever we run this check. And yeah, so that's basically it. So I just showed you everything. Like I said, you can find the demo here. It'll also be down in the description. And you can always check the server file updates right here. But yeah, okay, I'll see you guys in the next video.